Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle Desrochers and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday night segment of the Outer Realm. We're broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network, UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 and 107.7 FM from the beautiful city of New Orleans. We're fully sponsored by the amazing people over at Folgers Coffee who have been a part of our journey since the very beginning. So thank you, Folgers. We just couldn't or wouldn't want to do it without you. Also, big thank you to Dr. Snick, the sonic surgeon, aka Justin Snicker, for his contribution of his time, his music, and his voice for the intro you just heard. He's an award-winning composer of Halloween horror, sci-fi, and dark wave electronic music, which can be found on all of your favorite music platforms. Also, big thank you to Steve McGinnis, the artist behind the banners and the logos here at the show. Check him out on Facebook and Instagram. Does great commission pieces of all types and books, comics, you name it, he can do it. So tonight we are welcoming the return of Devara Thunderbeat, and she's going to be discussing the 22 DNA Strand Activation. There's a mouthful right there. So there's a lot that with that. It really goes back to ancient times and something that would have been practiced in the old mystery schools. But in order to partake, guys, you know the drill. We have 7 chat rooms, all condensed into one. So we will get to people as we can. We may flash your comment up so the guests can see.
Sorry.
And we'll respond as we can. And if not, we'll be able to get to them at the end of the show. What are you doing?
It feels like there was a bug on my leg, and I'm just like, what the hell? I'm not afraid of anything but spiders. I don't know what that was. It just kept.
I'm just waving as we go along.
Sorry.
Well, you're having a meltdown with the
No,
spider.
I jumped and I couldn't. Hello, everyone. I'm like, it's not the dog. I can see him in the hallway.
Oh no!
That is scary.
It's a spider. I think
don't
I guess
know
it's trying
what
to
it
log
is.
in. Oh, there we are. Okay, there's Devara. We're going to bring you on while Amelia's fighting with a spider.
All he says it's a ladybug. Hi.
Hi. Oh my God, I'm so light here.
I know I've had those moments. That's why I've darkened my light. But I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm Southern Italian. Like, you can't get more olive than me. And I look like Casper sometimes when I come on here.
Oh, jeez.
It's just because you've got white light bouncing on you, but you look beautiful as always.
That's okay. My light will cut out in about an hour.
Yeah. This is on a timer.
I'm going to look like the ET in the back.
See, is that alien coming in and out? That's all you're going to see.
I'm going to be doing this.
You'll attention to the alien behind the curtain.
Just wanted to let you know I'm on mountain time now. When you said 6, it's really 7.
Oh,
okay.
So you bumped up an hour.
I'm like waiting for the link when it's like 5 after 6.
Oh, yeah. That's why I always say Eastern, because I never know. Yeah. I know there's a lot of time changes going on right now. Yeah. So it's like better to be safe. I'll let you guys figure it out.
And then in Arizona doesn't change the time. They don't let us know.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That's like a surprise.
But you know what? Winnipeg or Alberta, one of those two does that. I think it's Alberta. Yeah. That one time it doesn't change. It stays the same. So you never know.
Arizona, kind of that line.
Well, that would be the same. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It would be in the same time zone.
Alberta, you're correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I took geography.
I miss you, girls.
Bubbles like, yeah, I got it right.
How's New Orleans doing?
Good.
I think you're good.
They're good. Yeah, they're good.
I'm half Italian and half Native American. And I have a new tribe. It's called the Wapaho tribe.
All
I
right.
like that. Can I join? I love that. The
Nice.
Wapaho. I love that.
I made it up. It's even funnier when people go, "Oh yeah, I've heard of that tribe." I said, "No, you haven't." I made
Oh
it up.
my gosh, that's
promise
how
you
you
haven't.
clear the ignorant people in your circle.
Yeah, here's one for you, Amelia. Marshall says that spiders bite you several times in a matter of a couple of seconds.
Thank you.
You better catch that little 8-legged critter at your house.
I don't know if that's
crawling
what
up
it
your
would have
leg.
felt like that. Like I'm like, what the heck?
They're
And
gonna
it
be
really
down.
freaked me out.
So
Yeah.
camera goes out, Amelia's down. Just letting you guys know. So, Deborah, what have you been up to? Catch us up.
I just got back from Cabo San Lucas.
Oh, very
Yeah,
nice.
that's where Sammy Hagar from Van Halen has a nightclub.
Nice.
Yes, and his tequila, right?
And his tequila. I didn't
Yeah.
go there, but I was on a cruise.
Well, he's partners with Guy Fieri. I follow the Food Network, so yeah.
I went on a cruise and it was just beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh,
nice.
So, yeah, I got away on vacation for a while, and I got back. I was just on Dr. Michael Sala's show, and
yes.
my whole thing blew up. Everything. So I've been really busy now with sessions and the DNA, the 2 and 22 DNA. That everybody just loved that. And
Yes.
of course, it's life changing. So yeah, and that's what we're going to be talking about: the sound healing and chakras.
I'd love to get into like all the ancient origins of it all also, because this goes back to ancient mystery schools and the whole divine blueprint. And I don't think people get like this isn't just a spiritual movement that's a fly by night. This is like a really ancient thing, isn't it?
It's over 10,000 years old, and then people are finding out that the Mayans used the chakra system. So we don't even know the timelines, how really old it is. It's probably, more than 10,000 years old. And here's an interesting story with when I was down in the Mayan lands, I brought a group and did the chakra activation in one of the temples.
Wow.
And soon as I finished, a Mayan elder spirit came to me. No one could hear him but me. And he said, "We start with the heart." What that means is the chakra system, like from India, they start with the root chakra, the earth chakra.
Right.
Then they go to the sacral. Then they go to the solar plexus. And then they go to the heart, a throat chakra, third eye, crown. Okay, well, he was telling me, the Mayan elder spirit was telling me, we start with the heart.
Oh,
yeah.
You were told.
That's the center of the chakras. It makes so much sense. So the heart chakra they start with, and I said, what's the order of the chakras? He goes, chakras. We call them chakras. That's how he sounded, Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. This is knowledge that's been lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool stuff. And then so he said he starts with the heart, then he goes to the soul, he says. Then he goes to the sacral, then to the earth, and then back to the heart. Throat chakra, third eye, crown, start again to the heart.
Wow.
And I did a CD, the Chakra Heart CD. Goes through all the chakras. And no one else has done this. And I'm like, people don't get it. I have to explain everything to them because it's so lost,
Right. Well, why don't we start with that then? Why don't we start what is the 22 strand DNA activation?
Okay.
What's the story behind it?
Chakras. Let's start with the chakras and then build up, because the chakra CD. Oh, could I grab a copy of the CD?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Absolutely.
Okay, this is. Oh. Ready?
I didn't have a picture of it, so there wasn't much I could do.
Oh. Okay. Uh-oh. It's kind of washed out.
There we go. We see it.
There we go.
Okay. There it is.
But it goes through all the chakras. And here's the listed in the order of it in the back.
Yeah, we can see it.
And there's a download you can get on my download site, or you can buy the CD. And here's my other regular chakra CD. Oh gosh.
Yeah, we see it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I've got your
Love
website up, and we'll screen share it up in a little bit too,
Yeah,
so
that.
people can see the page.
Okay. Are we live?
We are, I promise.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Well, the chakra CD came through and it became number 1. So I have to tell you
Oh, congratulations.
another magical story. I was overnight in the Great Pyramid in Egypt, and I was doing an activation with my drum. And then as soon as I finished, Archangel Gabriel came to me, and he goes, color, light, sound. 7 is the sacred number. 7 is the sacred number. Color, light, sound. He kept repeating this over and over to me. Now, this is in 1997.
Right.
There was no chakra CDs out there, not that I know of.
Right.
And
There was barely an internet.
what's that?
Yeah.
There was barely an internet at the time. Social media was minimal.
Coming on to the
Yeah.
heels of it.
Good
Yeah.
point. Yes. So he tells me, I said, oh, he's talking about the chakras. I knew about the chakra system. And he's telling me there's an activational tone for each chakra. So I was like, got very excited. I go, this is a new mission. I want to go home and write the CD right now. And I'm going to call it Chakra Journey because I'm on a journey here, you know?
Right. Perfect. Perfect.
So I get home and I started playing around with the tones and everything. And he comes in and he tells me the tones for each chakra. And I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. So I started recording it in my recording studio. And as soon as I recorded the root chakra, then I went to the sacral. And then he said, not yet, not now. And I'm like, what? Nothing worked in my recording studio. And I'm like going, okay, why? And he never answered me. So this, long story short, this went on for 4 years, right? And he used to, every time I tried, he said, not yet, not time. And I recorded 3 other CDs in my recording studio in that 4-year period. Everything worked fine, but every single time I tried to go and record the Chakra Journey CD, nothing worked.
Why do you think that is?
Okay, well, here's what happened. I was
this is the magic part. This is
why? For 4 freaking years, I was starting to take it personal. It was very frustrating. Well, then 9/11 happens.
I get chills when anyone says that. Yeah.
The day after the Twin Towers fell, Gabriel comes in and goes, okay, it's time now.
Out of nowhere.
Wow. It's like this is a timing thing. So I said, okay. And I went back to the recording studio and everything worked fine. And it went zip, 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 zip so fast. Got it out there. It became number 1. So it was a timing thing for the planet because it's all about activating and healing. Everyone needed healing now. People were freaking out. Right. And it releases anxiety, stress, fear, pain. It does all that besides aligning and activating your chakras.
Right.
It's amazing because I wasn't even sure what it was going to do until I got hundreds of testimonies after doing sessions with it and using the sound healing, the tuning forks. And
so it's vibration and frequency, essentially. You're tapping in. Because, I mean, wasn't there like 12 initial strands? I mean, there's 12 strands, DNA strands. How did we come up with 22? What are we unlocking when we do this?
That's huge. Well, it's very ancient. We have really unlimited DNA strands. The science only knows about, they focus on 12. Okay.
Right.
So, and they call half of it junk DNA because they have no clue what it does.
I was going to say, is that why? Because they can't figure it out. Not that it is junk.
No, that's why they call it junk. How could it be junk in your body? Come on.
Junk DNA. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like, hello. So this is what this information I received, another magical moment from the Keys of Enoch, which they took out of the Bible, by the way.
Yes.
They didn't want anybody to know this information. So I was reading the Keys of Enoch and Metatron, Archangel Metatron comes in. That's why I have that, my other book is called
Who is Enoch? Just saying, people who don't know.
Who is Enoch? He's an ancient one. He's
Well, he's
Yeah.
Metatron.
He's Metatron.
That's right. Yeah. For
So
people who
Metatron-
don't know, yeah. For our audio listeners, yeah.
Okay, his book was removed. How did it get back in? Sorry.
It didn't.
How did it know? But how did it get out there if it was
It
What
was
do you mean?
released independently.
okay?
What? Oh, Keys
The
of
Book
Enoch.
of Enoch. Yeah.
Yeah. JJ Hertock came out with Keys of
Yeah.
Enoch. And that was what I was reading. And it's a very intense book, by the
Right.
way. And so about the third day, I was reading the book, and he woke me up vibrating my head. And he goes, "Your number is 202-2030." And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I had no clue. I thought it was a phone number. I called 202-2030. No
You're
answer.
like, I'm gonna grab a pizza.
I mean, it took me about a couple of days before I figured out what he was talking about. It was kind of funny, and I'm like going, well, what? And then it was a couple of days after that, I went back to the book, and I went, oh, those numbers are in this book. So I looked it up, and it was all about the 22 DNA RNA golden light codes. And I said, okay.
It's like, duh.
And he
Am
said,
I supposed to know that? Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's my mission work. And I'm like, really? So then I didn't know how to maneuver with it until I met this lady, 84 years old lady. She was activating people's 22 DNA activation. I said, I need an activation with her. And she was doing this work for 50 years. And so I got this activation with her, and magical things started happening. And then I told her, I said, this is the work I'm supposed to do. She goes, oh, that's major. You'd have to be so-and-so and do this, and lots of research and study and all this. And I said, I'm telling you, Archangel Metatron came in and told me this is my work. And she said, well, let me talk to the council. She's talking up there.
Oh, Jesus. Right. You're like, great.
Literally.
Right?
Literally, Jesus.
So she calls me the next day and she goes, oh my God, you are. This is one of the reasons why you came in. It was to do this work. And I'm like, I told you.
The big man doesn't lie.
Right?
Yeah.
So she trained me, and that was in 2004.
Wow.
Something like that. And I've been doing this work ever since, and miraculous things have been happening. I wish I could do the whole world at once. It helps wake up. It helps you remember who you are and why you are here. I mean, it does so many things. I mean, the whole list is on my website, but it repairs damaged DNA.
Okay, I'm going to bring it up. May I bring it up? Can we show people? Okay, so I want them to see.
I would like that.
Okay, let's do it right now.
There's nothing that feels better when you know what is
Your
in between
purpose.
the dash. Yes.
Okay.
What does that dash stand for between your birth and death? It's just an
People
it's
search
an
their whole
incredible
life trying
feeling.
to figure this out.
Yeah.
And you get this activation, and it all comes down. It takes about 2 years to be fully activated, because if it happened all at once, you would actually implode. That's how powerful it is.
Yeah.
But you will start remembering, because your dormant DNA, I awaken your dormant DNA.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it's just hard to read.
I can see it.
Do
Do
you
want me to read it off?
Yeah.
It empowers you to maximize your potential to bring forth talents, creativity, and abilities as yet unrealized.
Yep.
It enables you to have.
Stop right there.
Okay.
I'll tell you what happened with me.
Okay.
I've been playing full drum set all my life, right? And I was, I would give ideas to the bands, but I never composed music. I wrote some lyrics, and that's about it. When I got my activation, it was like instantly I could compose music. I swear to God, I go, oh my God, had no clue I could do this. Now it was like simple, like I've been doing it all my life,
Right.
with no training. And on the keyboards, I could record in my recording studio, and it was now I have 14 solo CDs out because of it.
Wow.
Just from this, for being activated for the 22. I'm going to tell you, that's a testimony right there.
Wow. No, that's fantastic. I love it. I love it. There's instant results. Do you want me to just go down the list and you can
go ahead.
elaborate on? Okay. Enables you to have more energy and clarity.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
remember who you are and why you're here, which you just said. Releases unconscious knowledge stored within.
So that means, we're more connecting with the divine, and the higher knowledge that we don't have on earth because we're under I call it the program, the matrix, so a lot of knowledge comes through that like go, oh, and it really expands your awareness of seeing things in a whole different way. Yeah.
Right. Which goes to the next one, creates a greater opening for connecting to the higher self. Also allows clearing of family and genetic karmic patterns. See, that's a big one right there.
Yes. It's not really karmic patterns because that would be like a bad karma thing, but it's more like disease karma.
Okay.
Ailments that run in the family bloodline. So I remove those ailments, like, if they come in with cancer or whatever runs in the family bloodline, I clear that right out.
Wow.
And
like Alzheimer's, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. A lot of that is, a lot of that is from pollution.
I know.
That way.
That's actually,
and I feel like the ones that are elderly that have it right now, there was so much, like they cooked so much on aluminum, and that's a direct link.
Right.
Like that's a big one too. That's why there's so many of them that have it.
That's why we didn't hear 100 years ago. You don't hear about that.
No, it's true.
No, but you used cast iron back then too.
It's just,
That's a whole different story.
Iron?
Cast iron.
Cast iron.
It's very heavy iron, like for real.
Yeah, cast iron to cook 100 years ago. I use it now.
Like griddles
But we season it. It doesn't. It was
doesn't.
different then. They left that was pores that were open.
That's another lie.
It was?
Iron's fine.
I use it. I'm just saying back then, I don't think they cared for it the same way that we do now.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's good for you. Iron's good for you. What they do, they put, anyway. So I use cast iron too.
I use a lot of it. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. What about ancestral lineage leftovers, imprinting, things like that? Can you remove some of that as well?
Ancestral lineage. It's just a lot of it's usually that is the karma part. But I do want to say when releasing the elements in the DNA's family bloodline, that actually goes to the children too. That, let's say, doing a female and she's got 3 children, that goes to the children too.
Excellent. So past, future as well, right? I like that. Strengthens the immune system and quicker rejuvenation of various organs.
Yes, because you're activating more of the DNA working with your body, as in all your cells. And when it's a higher frequency, disease can't live in a higher frequency.
Neither can wrinkles, right? I'm not being light. I'm being serious.
I love you.
I'm being serious, like the more Botox, that kind of thing.
Well, I'm 150, so how do I look?
You don't look until you're 25. So yeah, I'm in.
I'm kidding.
I'm in. No, I'm in.
Oh God, that's funny. Activates dormant brain function to the original divine function.
Oh, I have a few people for you.
What that means is the knowledge from above. We forget who we are and why we're here when we come down here, and
so you're connecting to source.
Yeah, basically. So you're connecting more to source,
right?
And all-knowing knowledge. The Akashic records, and your awareness expands. What they call it psychic abilities. So you have all this like knowing. Like when I do the activations, I tell them you're going to have epiphanies, and those epiphanies are going, I know this information, and I don't know where I got it from.
Right.
And you didn't read. They didn't read anything. I go, that is your DNA being awoken, waking up, remembering this knowledge. You have so much knowledge in your DNA. It's coded in the DNA from your past lives. So that. All that, what do you call it? All that experience comes in.
Right.
That's why you can go, oh, okay, I know how to do this, this, and this. You never trained because it was from your past life.
Right.
And so
Right.
it's a remembering. Yeah, it's cool stuff. Like I could compose, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so easy. I had
So it'd be
never.
similar to like downloads like that. Yeah, you just kind of start getting information and you're just trying to
Yeah,
figure out what it's all about, but it seems to show up when you need it to.
yeah, it does.
See?
It comes
Hmm.
in when it's like needed,
Okay.
and you go,
Okay.
oh, I don't know where I got this information from. It's from your dormant DNA being awakened now. So
Okay.
I am so honored to do this work. It's just amazing.
Right. Right. Well, there's definitely a lot of benefits to it. Raises your frequency level, helping you with the shifts. That's a
Yes.
big one
Mhm.
too, is shifts,
Yeah.
because shifts happen a lot. They do. And some
Mercury.
people, it's like, what just happened? I think I got hit by a
Yeah.
bus, and other people are just, oh my God, that was amazing.
Mercury always makes me feel like I've had the flu for 10 years.
What does?
Mercury, when Mercury retrograde, it always makes me feel like I've
Oh,
had the flu for years. Like I can't wait for the damn thing to be over, kind
interesting.
of thing.
I've never
Yeah.
heard that with anybody.
Oh,
Yeah, don't focus on it. That's what I just got for you. Don't
I-
when it happens, just don't even know.
Then tell
Don't even know.
everybody to stop telling me it's Mercury
Quit
retrograde
posting it.
because I don't even know. They tell me it's the retrograde when I'm like, oh, I feel like crap. I'm like, what? So yeah, it's everybody else's fault.
Well, I notice it. I do notice it when I'm, let's say, working on a project on the computer, and I'm like, how come I have to do this 3 times? I just did this over and over again. I go, is it Mercury retrograde? And sure enough, it is.
It
It
is.
is.
You
Yeah.
feel it.
I
Yeah.
know. All right, last one. You will begin to manifest your higher intuition, telepathy, and clairvoyance.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. Clairvoyance, just knowing you can actually understand what I don't like to say read minds, but you can actually kind of read minds,
Right.
and knowings, and you connect with your spirit guides a lot easier. There's 7 psychic abilities that people don't even talk about. There's clairaudient is one of my favorite, and that's in your
Right.
throat chakra. You
Right.
activate your throat chakra, but the DNA works too. Is when you can hear your spirit guides, and I hear, like when I create music, I hear music from the ethers, things
Right.
I've never heard before, and I'm like, okay, like let's record that. So that's clairaudient, and then your mental telepathy is on your third eye. That's how people talk. Let's say third eye to eye, mental telepathy, telepathically.
Right.
And then the heart chakra, like the soul chakra, is like, oh, I have this feeling. That's not a good feeling. It's like a gut feeling. That's
Right.
another psychic ability. People don't
Right.
realize there's so
Yeah.
many psychic,
People, do you think it's just because people don't recognize it? Like when you have butterflies in your stomach or the hair goes up in the back of your neck, like, hello,
yep.
that's
People,
your,
yeah.
See, this
your
stuff should be
ability
taught in
telling.
school. The new schools coming in, I'm going to say they're all going to teach chakras and psychic abilities, awareness. That's the real school of
Right.
regular school.
Right.
This other school, I quit school. I'm going to brag. I quit school at 10th grade. In the middle of it, I said, this is useless information.
It's not for
Right.
everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a control factor,
Well, I think it's just some people just come here naturally more evolved. Besides that, you don't always realize. I mean, look, your kids are freaking brilliant with their mind's eye just wide open, seeing everything for what it is. And I think it's not just so much society that dumbs them up, but it's sometimes parents. We don't realize it, and it's like, no, you don't really see that. It's your imagination, or no, you don't really have an imaginary friend. Don't be
Right.
stupid, or don't be silly, or so I think they withdraw from wanting to communicate about it and stop trusting in their own instincts
Right.
Mhm.
that are so natural to them. And then as you get through life, like you say, we have a certain curriculums, everything sort of a formula, and life then gets busy. You have to eat, so you have to work, and sometimes you have to work 2 jobs, and you have a family, then you got soccer, then you have homework, then then the cycle just
Some of us have
keeps
10
running.
dance classes in a week.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
where is the time for DNA activation and enlightenment and awareness, and like where do you juggle it?
I have that information you're talking about in my chakra journey book.
Yes.
And it talks about by the time 3 or 4 years old, all the chakras are starting to shut down because of the matrix program.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So they say if we had a whole different, I guess, system of understanding and learning, our chakras would be shut down.
Right.
And that's why I say this is going to be definitely the future. But then, like when you get out of school, the chakras start opening up again, just a little bit at a time. So once you, because you're becoming your own self, like back to your own self again, instead of being programmed.
Yeah.
So that is so I just wish everybody could just be activated.
Right. You just have to do a mass activation,
Right?
Yeah.
I think people don't realize how intuitive they really are. When you look back at careers, and I've said this several times, law enforcement and military have incredible intuition, or they couldn't do what they do and stay safe.
Well, they're trained. They are trained.
They're trained, but they already have a natural ability to understand that, you know what I mean? To law enforcement, for me, I don't know, first responders, I feel like they are just loaded.
Well, they have the training. They don't talk about it. They got to keep it hush hush, but they do have the, training. They don't call it psychic ability. They call it like,
I know. Yeah.
With, what is it? Body language. They really focus on body language training. And then, if they do this, this is this. And if they do this, this is this. That's another psychic ability, if you ask me.
Yes. And it's also, and like their instinct, to know that around this corner, somebody's going to be there with a gun kind of thing. They call it, oh, my gut, but it's intuition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're right. You're totally right. Absolutely. I love that.
I work with a lot of law enforcement agencies, so I see it, and I'm like, you're not that far off from me.
What do you do with them?
Missing children, cold cases, murder cases, stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I always say to them, like, you're not that much different than I am, because you have that gut instinct to know that turning this corner could cost me my life, or that they get that feeling like I can't go this way. I can't go. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to do their jobs. Yeah. But exactly what you said, they call it training, but they have to have something there before that. You can train anyone. It doesn't make them good at what they do.
Yeah. I'm proud of you, girl.
No, thank you.
Thank you. I mean, I got major chills all over my body when you said missing children.
I wouldn't trust anybody else but that girl right there.
Thank you.
And anybody went missing who, and period. And, in my life, it's the only person.
I would turn thank you for that. I would turn my life upside down to find a child. And I've gone without sleep.
She would.
I had to take a break from it because it was 7 days, 24 hours. People don't realize how many children go missing, and it's not just sex trafficking. I've even helped find kids that were taken by their other parent. Oh. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Anyone contacts me, like, I would help them as much as I can.
She's very humble as well. So.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm like fabulous. No.
Kidding. No.
I just think that when you're given a gift, you should use it for as much good as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think you have to.
And Vegas didn't work out for me, so I had to stop.
This didn't work out. Don't get me started.
I'm kidding.
We have a comment. Dolly, as a nurse, because your DNA has. Oh, Amelia, you do it.
Oh, that's okay. You started. Go ahead.
No, you do it. I'm
fine.
Dolly, just doing it when I'm by myself. So go ahead.
I know. I've been off for a bit. Physically, your DNA has 46 complete strands of DNA. Each parent supplies 23 strands each to make a baby.
Of
DNA.
Good. Well, it's there. It is unlimited. It's a universe has told me that basically that is unlimited. Let's say if you're in a higher frequency, you can have 100 strands. So I haven't heard that before, and I'm wondering if that's the doctors are coming up with that. I've never heard that 20.
I always say my daughter out of 46 has 40 of mine.
Yeah, she says no. Yeah, it's a
She
scientific
looks like me.
fact.
But yeah.
Very
Yeah.
interesting, though. That's
So
great.
I wonder
Thank you.
if we're getting into is it the spiritual part of that DNA? Is it the
Absolutely.
ethereal
Yeah, I
part
think
of
it's
that?
different.
That
Yeah.
not
Yes.
so much the physical.
Right.
I'm wondering.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. That's what they call junk DNA because that's more spiritual, more etheric, higher
Yes.
frequency.
Hi, Kat.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. So in doing this, because it helps your immune system, it does everything. How does it see? I always look at a spiritual thing when you say by activating now, it helps, your lineage, everything else. But if it's a physical thing, like if it helps us physically and past lives sit within the DNA strand, I would think it would have to be on a spiritual level
Yep.
because the body changes. I mean, do you reincarnate into your own DNA in your
That's
own
what they call
lineage?
awareness. It's just awareness,
Yeah.
the awareness, it expands and you can't explain it until you experience it. That's what I have
Right.
come across, like I said, the psychic abilities, it does enhance that. That's your awareness. Like, okay, I can hear my spirit guides. What did they call it back in the day? Oh, I'm hearing voices. Put them in an insane asylum. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yes. Not
Right?
wrong.
Oh,
Yes.
it was bad what they used to do. They put orphans in there, convicts
It
in
sure
there,
didn't matter. Put them
pedophiles,
all in
rapists.
together.
They
Yeah.
all went into one, what
Mhm.
Chris Ruth would call a poorhouse. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah. So that's what, and you do have to use discernment because, when you hear messages, if it's negative or it tells you something to do bad, that's a negative spirit coming in. You don't want, that is a dark entity. So you had, when you start connecting with the higher realms, you knew discernment. So
Mhm. Yeah, you have to be careful.
very important.
So can anybody do this?
Everybody can do it. Everybody has the capability. Everybody.
Does
It's
it work for
yeah.
everybody? Do you find in your experience, or do you have people that come back and go, I don't get it? So are they just not seeing it, or are they just simply, it just doesn't work on everyone? Because some
No.
people are pretty blocked and clogged up. It takes a lot.
Well, that's a good point because if they're too blocked, I can tune into them immediately. If they're too
Right.
blocked, I tell them they're not ready and they have to do a lot of chakra work and sound healing to clear out the old program or old stuff that they're holding on. They're holding on to like stuff that from it could even be past lives they don't even remember. Or this lifetime something happened in their childhood that creates blockages in your chakras. So I can feel that right away, and they're not ready. So I need to get them cleared. You need a sound healing session first to clear you out to become ready. So I have turned down 7 people because they were not ready.
That came out so wrong.
So they have to be ready. Otherwise, it does, like you said, it doesn't work because they got blockages.
You have to be open-minded. Nothing works. Not even you could go into some kind of treatment, even in the pharmaceutical way, and not believe in it. And mindset is everything.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It is. You have to believe that. I think half the battle is you have to believe. The people have to believe in you.
Yeah.
To come to you to go through that process, because
Right.
if you go in and like, nope, not going to happen. It's not going to work for me.
Yeah.
Universe hates me. Doesn't want me to know. You do have those people, Wayne.
Right.
You do have those people.
They create their own blockages, because I do embed 22 golden light codes into that person, in the session. So, so they have to be, clear for that to even go into their body,
Yeah.
Right.
and they have to be ready. And I have the one person I turned down that she thinks is going to cure all. It's a cure all for everything. No, that's not the reason. You got to be ready for it for the next level of awareness in the higher frequencies. Not like fix me now. No, you need to be, you need some healing work. You need to remove blockages. That is what you need right now before the session. So, but I usually, but most people, they call me, usually, like I said, it takes up to 2 years to be fully activated. You'll start. Some people get like I was just immediate. And there's some people get it immediately. Sometimes it takes a month to see.
You've got great reviews on your website. So
Yes. Yeah, the testimony is on my website.
yeah.
And people will email me and they'll go, still, I haven't even put them all on there, the testimonies, but they say, oh my God, you were right. I didn't realize I could do these things. I'm writing a book now. Never thought I was going to write a book.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Things like that.
Now, do you ever get people that say, I don't like it? I want to go back to the way things were.
No,
like,
never.
because sometimes it's like going under hypnosis, for example, you might find out things that you weren't ready for.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever have anybody like that who's kind of like, I don't think I'm ready for all of this. The floodgates are opening and
Well, they wouldn't call me for the session then. No, if they're not ready.
Well, I mean, sometimes I don't think it's a matter of you don't know what to expect. And then if it happens, you're just not quite ready. Because sometimes for some people like yourself, the floodgates open, all this information comes to you, you see the world through different eyes. Like I say, it's like, we sit there, we're like looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. You see it a certain way. But when you take those off, so to speak, and you see things for what they really are, some people just can't accept that, or they can't live with that, or it's just really difficult.
Well, they
got to get counseling.
Yeah, like I said, I usually can tune into it. Well, I tune into the person and say, "Oh, they're not ready," but it's
right.
Yeah, it's not about you; it's about them.
Right.
Yeah, I was wondering if you had to counsel anybody after the fact.
Yeah.
Try to.
No.
Oh,
no, I've done almost 1,000 sessions, and
beautiful.
I only 7 people so far that I've turned down. So
yeah,
and they've actually they'd start doing the healing work and removing the blockages and stuff like that, and then I activate them. So they have, after they're clear.
Right. So you make sure they're ready before you can even go to that level.
Right.
Then.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Otherwise, it's not going to work. Is the blockages.
Right.
Total blockage, and they don't even know it. But it's beautiful. The sound healing sessions are beautiful. They have to be in person because of the sound resonance.
Yes.
I get people that during the sessions start crying and they don't know why. I said, this is a good thing. It's an honor that you're crying because you're releasing old stuff that is buried, that you have buried so deep you don't even remember.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like getting a cleansing clear, but more in depth.
It's like having an ayahuasca session on a whole other level.
Without having to throw up though. Like seriously.
I know.
I've never done it.
Well, actually, yes. I tell a lot of people in my music, don't drive with this music because it's going to bring you up to different, awarenesses, but you might miss your exit or get to your destination quicker.
Yeah.
You're actually, like sometimes you can go out of your body. So it's not safe to drive with, and it's all natural compared to ayahuasca or any drugs.
Absolutely, you should never drive and play frequencies.
Yeah,
never.
No,
never, because you can fall asleep. Like anything can happen.
Right. Some people can fall asleep to it, and it's good for insomnia too.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
That's how I like to meditate. I love listening to binaural beats and things like that.
Yeah, because it just
takes me right out there. I know.
That's why you don't want to drive and listen to binaural beats.
Get off the road.
Right out there.
It's like, like I said, you'll miss your exit, or all of a sudden missing time, which is, let's say you're doing an hour drive, and I'm going like, oh my God, I got there in 15 minutes. It seems like. But I have the 5 sound healing CDs I have out. I have to remember now. I have a 12 DNA activation. That's another one to get you ready for the 22.
Right.
I have an Ascension CD. I have like I said, the Chakra Heart Journey and the Chakra Journey CD.
Right.
That is, it's called Chakra Journey Awakening the Chakras. So,
right.
So that's some of the work I came through. And Archangel, I want to say, I want to say that Archangel Gabriel is a musician.
The horns of Gabriel. Right? What? The horns of Gabriel.
Yes.
Always,
the horn player. So he knows his tones, and he's the one who gave them to me. I don't take all the credit for the Chakra Journey CD, and that's what activated me first to start doing all the sound healing was him.
Right, right. I love it. I think everything is about vibration and frequency, and the fact that, you have found a way to put that out there and help people, because I don't think people, a lot of people don't quite understand, about sound and frequency, vibrations, things like that, and what they can do for you. I mean, it can actually physically heal you.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think people understand. Like when I've worked with clients, in really malevolent situations, I'm speaking supernaturally, of course. I always, even people who are grieving, I will often recommend different types of binaural beats and frequencies, specifically for, healing the spirit, the mind, the body, as a combination of everything.
Yeah.
And I'll get messages like sometimes months later and say, I still do it. Even though I don't feel I need it, I need it. I may not need it in here, but I need it in here.
Right.
Because you become a part of it.
Yeah, since I've been a musician all my life, I was always in the early 90s, before the whole thing in the pyramid happened to me, I was always fascinated how each key would affect a person.
Mhm.
So, this song is in the key of D. How is that affecting the person? Oh, it's making them grouchy. It's making them lower their vibration. It's like, I would notice all this. My favorite became A, and then I found out later, many years later, it was the third eye.
Yeah.
And that was my but most music, like remember when the grunge came out, that was all lower D frequencies.
It was.
And what was going on? People
Right.
were doing downers, heroin, the lower frequency stuff. That's the key of D, is a lower frequency.
Right.
D is actually your sacral chakra, which
Right.
is where you hold your emotions, a lot of your emotions, a very emotional key.
Right.
So your soul, let's see, I gotta think now. C, D, E is the key of E. Like, that really gets down to my soul, that song.
Right.
So I was always doing research. It was fascinating to me. I was doing my own research. The key of F is activates your heart,
Right.
the heart chakra. The F sharp, they talk about, that's not on the chakras, but on the chakra CD, but F sharp is actually your thymus. So it all correlates with organs in your body. And that I talk about all that in my chakra book, which is I just downloaded some information on that one too. That's not in the chakra books. And then the throat chakra is G, and then A, like I said, third eye, and the crown chakra is B, which you don't hear a lot of B in music, but that connects you with source, all knowing, or if you say God.
Right.
So that's the awakening. It's great.
Yeah. No, I love it. I always tell people, if you hear something, because sometimes I'll hear certain music and it resonates differently with me. So it tells me that this is a type of melody, or, because I can hear sometimes, it's weird for me with my abilities, but I sometimes don't hear the actual song so much as I hear the beats behind it. I can hear the tone and the frequency.
Nice.
If I'm in another room, I'm like, because I've always put stuff on for the dogs, right? And I'm like, what is that? That's all I can hear is this frequency. I stop hearing the tune. I come in, the dogs are sacked out, loving it, and I'm all like, what is this? Like, it's weird. It's not with everything, but I find lately it's been more often. So, but I do listen to a lot of binaural beats, and some songs they draw me in, and they make me long for something from another time.
Yeah.
Or like there's just things that resonate, and you may not know why that is, but I think if you gravitate to it, it makes you, if it hits your core, then it's something that you need to listen to a little more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Trust yourself, definitely.
It's the Gregorian chants.
Oh,
can't get enough of that.
Celtic stuff.
Gregorian chants. That's it. I heard that.
Music.
I have a cool story about Gregorian chants.
I love that stuff.
When I was in the Great Pyramid the second time, and this is in 2008, I brought a group and I had everybody tone in the king's chamber. And I went in, I was going to use my favorite indigo third eye key, and spirit tells me when I just about got there, spirit tells me, use the keys for heaven and earth. And I'm like, okay, I know what they are, so I used those keys, and we had the place were private, so it was like 12 of us, and or 13 or whatever, but so I used the tuning forks, had everybody tone that tone, and I swear to God, after not even 5 minutes, Gregorian sounded like Tibetan monks chanting with us really loud. Everyone could hear it. And it was Gregorian chants, that low frequency. And I'm looking around, and I said, there's in the pyramids, there is a temple guard always there. He's a guard. He has a robe on and everything. And I said to him, did you put speakers in here? He goes, no, you did it. You activated the pyramid. And I'm like, oh my God, just with sound frequencies.
There you go.
With the heaven and earth, which connects, it opens up the portals to the sky and then connects you with the earth, is the keys that I use. So,
right.
Wow.
I think, yeah, but see, you're aware of it. People go in there, will do things. I have many friends who do tours there, many friends who've had like life-changing experiences in the pyramid. I mean, I've been, but I think when I went, I just wasn't, I was just too young. I mean, early 20s, I'm like, I didn't have the understanding that I have now.
What year?
When did I go in there? I think it was like 89.
Wow, before I did.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Wow.
I mean, they gave me the whole pyramid to myself.
You lucky
I
girl.
paid for it. No, I paid for it. Yeah. I had it to myself for like about a half hour, 40 minutes.
Well, I was there for the first time overnight. The group I was with paid for it.
Nice.
$2, but we were overnight in the Great Pyramid.
That's what you want. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not cheap. I mean, just for
thousands. It is thousands, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nowadays. And then, by the way, speaking of Egypt, I'm taking a group in January 2025. Why don't you come?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. About it. I'll get you the information, but I mean, it will be on my website. Yeah, January 2025. I love going in January. It is not hot. The last time I went was in March on the spring equinox. It was deadly hot. It's really hot there.
Yeah.
And so in January, I just love it. In January, it's about 70 degrees because you're going to be, the tours are a lot of walking around. You're inside the temples, you're inside the pyramids, and we're going to be on a boat down the Nile. So it's going to be really pretty.
I know people who are doing an excavation there for National Geographic. Is it called Sicilla? And they're literally excavating. That's the time of year that they go. Funny enough,
there's less tourists there.
Yeah.
The tourists are coming in at the end of February, so you get more of the places placed to yourself. That's another reason I go.
It's a huge discovery, that they've done. I should let you know. I'll try to get you info on it because you do have to take a boat and go all the way down, and they're usually there for about 6 weeks. And National Geographic's covered it. Probably I'm going to ask them to come on because it's just an incredible discovery. I love that they're discovering so much because you look at the Great Pyramid and everything it can do. I mean, there's over 200 pyramids in Egypt, but they're discovering so many temples and
they're all over the world. I just got back from Bosnia, the Pyramid of the Sun.
Yes.
And they talk about, you just hear about that one, right? Well, when I was with Sam, he was leading the tour, the guy who found it, the founder, Sam, and he said, no, we found 6 here so far. 6.
Right. I know. How many of them are mistaken as mountains? They're all there for a reason. And I'm sure as you start visiting them, you would know because you've visited a few. But I think there's a lot of commonality with them. And I think a lot of it does have to do with frequency.
Absolutely.
Stargates, sound activation,
Yes. Well, they use for energy too, energy uses. What do you call it? when I was there in '97, I asked how many pyramids they found. They said at that time 60, and that was in a plane. We were going to Abu Simbel, and I looked out the window and I said, "There's pyramids down there." And the Egyptologist said, "No, those aren't pyramids." Well, now they found them later. Now you just said they found 200, and the Egyptologist is going, "No, no, no," and I'm like, the Egyptologists, they only tell them so much. See,
it's academia is considerably different. You know, they don't fall into a lot of the otherworldly or high strangeness. It's very just academic.
Right.
So you don't get all the juicy stuff that you get when you're out, you know, and doing energy work.
Yes.
Magical
things happen with the sound, the activation. When I do the ceremonies in the temples, when I bring my group, it's magical thing. I mean, I have so many stories. Actually, that's in my my look up my encounters with ETs and Angel book. Is a lot of the stories, the magical things that happened to me in Egypt, which is I had actual ancient pharaohs coming to me, talking to me. I mean, seriously. The energy is still there.
Can you name any?
Well, they were all aware of all that stuff. You know, they were aware of all of that. I think in modern times, you know, we're definitely in different times, but I don't believe people were as suppressed from using their abilities then.
You're right.
You know, I mean, in some cases, I mean, your belief system is where you were suppressed, but I don't think you were suppressed so much in using abilities, depending where you are. I don't know that Egypt was one of those places, but I think as you got into medieval times, then it's like you would get labeled, you're a witch. You know, you have to be pretty careful. So we just seem to go through these cycles, but the energy workers have always had an understanding of these ancient places. I mean, it's why you see these amazing structures built on parts of the world, in specific parts of the world that already have that specific type of energy or portals or, you know, dimensional gateways. And those people, even in modern times, you can go to these places and experience them for what they are, much like the ancients did if you open yourself up to it.
Right. Right.
I think there's a reason why I don't want to go.
What?
Yeah. I don't have an interest in, I don't know why. I love Egypt. I think it's stunning. I find every reason not to be there. The flight is too long. The traveling is too long. It's too dry.
You got to hit a few places along the way. Is what I love to do.
That's different. But I think that somewhere in a past life, something happened and there's a reason, because I love to travel. And I want to go to Dubai. It's long butt flight too there, you know, but I don't know why. I always think maybe there's something that happens that
that you don't like. That's probably right, because that's happened to me down in the Mayan lands. There's Tulum. There's a temple called in Tulum. I can't go there. I had two opportunities.
I was right there in Mexico. Yeah.
I was right there. I had two opportunities to go, and I said, I can't go. I don't know why. I just can't go. And I want to go to all the temples. That one, something happened. Exactly what you said. So
when I landed in Cancun, but I stayed in, oh my gosh, I can't even remember where it was. The Mayan. When I landed in Cancun, because then it's an hour to the Riviera, I heard a voice in my set say, "You're home."
Wow.
Just my foot on the tarmac, because you walk from the plane to the and I was just like the happiest little pumpkin for that whole time. There wasn't anything anyone can say or do that would upset me. It rained one day with a caught in the rain. I was laughing my head off. I loved it there. I was looking.
You were home.
And my husband thought I was nuts. I'm like, can we find
But I think we gravitate for 6 places in the world without realizing the pull. Like people will often say, "Oh, well, you know, I resonated with this place." Like I always say, I leave a piece of myself everywhere I go, and I take a piece back with me. I've traveled many places in the world, but I wouldn't have traveled to those places. It's not like it was for work if I didn't have a pull
Right.
something pulling me there in the first place.
Well,
So
my dad pulled me to Italy. That didn't work out well.
yeah,
I didn't want to
wanna
go.
there either.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't go. I would go to Pisa because my ancestors built it, and I would want to. That's
Yeah.
something that I would like to see.
but
But to
that's a
travel
pull
all
for
of it, like,
you, right?
yeah, like I've been to Rome. I've been to a few places there.
Mm.
But
Did you?
my draw is like Michelle's, which is Scotland. It's
I
a
love Scotland. It's
very big.
beautiful. I love it.
It's a
Oh, yeah,
very big draw.
Michelle, you definitely have a connection in Scotland.
Oh
I
yeah,
Yeah.
totally
thank
feel
you.
that.
Yeah. I mean, lineage and past lives are just real.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I never wanted to leave there.
Well,
But
Egypt. Yeah, go ahead. When Egypt, I was going. I'm going to go one day. I'm not sure when.
It's
And then
stunning.
it's always magical. I was
Yeah.
at a conference, and my friend that was with me, Crystal, she hands me this sheet with hieroglyphs, Egyptian hieroglyphs on it, and I'm trying to tune into them to see if I can, read them. And Spirit goes, turn around now. I turn around, and this lady has a flyer, trip to Egypt. I went, oh, okay, I get it. And I went on that trip for the first time.
Yeah.
manifest it.
Timing thing.
You have to
Yeah.
you manifest,
attention.
and I think you have to pay attention. I think there's things thrown at us all the time, and
All the
we don't catch on. And I'm like, how'd you
There's
miss
no-
that kind of thing? But
And it's not
Egypt-
a coincidence. you know?
the film The 10 Commandments traumatized me as a child. It traumatized me.
Oh, don't get me started there. Do you know in
Yeah.
Egypt they banned it? Because they said
Yeah.
it's all lies.
Well, it traumatized me, like the murdering of his son and the stuff that was shown as a child. And I don't know if that's what sits with me either. And the funny thing is, when I moved here and we built the house, the farm next door had camels.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, what the hell? But anyway,
Well, a lot of that,
yeah.
by the way, that's one of my next projects is the Egyptian version of the Exodus. Seriously. And it's totally different. I know the download because I was, are you ready? All right. Because I don't tell a lot of people this, but when I
We're
was,
telling about 3 million a night.
okay, good. Well,
Go,
when
girl.
I was in
Take a
this,
deep pause.
Yeah.
And think about it.
all right. I remember when I first went to Egypt, I went to this one temple. I was looking to see anything that I recognized. Okay. There was about 5 temples. No. All the newer kind of temples I didn't recognize. It was the older ones I recognized. And I was in Hatshepsut's temple. And I went, oh, over here, they used to teach the children in the courtyard. Over here is where the living quarters are. Over here is where they prepared the food. I knew everything. And I said to the Egyptologist, I said, no, I don't think I'm Hatshepsut. I think I'm her sister or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And I get home and I get a regression, a past life regression, and I was her sister in a past life. My name was Neferari, and I was one of the teachers of the children. That's why I knew about the courtyard. And one of the children was Moses. She was the one that found Moses in the river. They don't even know who found it. And this is like 1500 BC. They don't even know the timeline. They think it's 1200. It's not. I got the whole download. So I'm supposed to write the book. So this is really interesting information.
Mhm.
And Moses was oh my God, it's a long story. Trust me. But I'm excited about doing because I was one of the teachers of Moses, and he was going to be a pharaoh. I do want to say this part. My sister found him in the river and lied to our father. Our father was Tutmosis the first. Okay, and Tutmosis means son of Thoth. Okay, so that's the lineage. So she lied to him and saying that was her son because she was trying to have a boy for the altar or for the next pharaoh, and she kept having female. Okay, so she lies to our father. So we trained him to be a pharaoh up to 16, and then he found out that he was not pure bloodline. And in Egypt, pure bloodline is sacred. Oh my God, you can't. That's why the brothers and sisters marry, because they want to keep the pure bloodline. This is all the information I have, and as soon as he found out that Moses was not pure bloodline, Moses means son, by the way. He flipped out and said, "Get out of our temple now!" And that's when Moses ran into the desert the first time, not any other reason. They have a whole different reason, but that is the reason. Isn't that? I thought that was very fascinating. I got that.
That's super interesting. And it's funny about bloodlines because, I mean, as you went over into the newer kingdoms, not so much. I mean, generals were taking over the pharaoh's seat, and conquering, or they would die without heirs. And okay, you're my priest or you're my general, you take it. That's how the whole Ramses line became. The generals, like they're a military line. They weren't kings like by birth. So it really changed, like, from the old time of the old kingdom where it really was important.
Yeah, the bloodline.
Like somewhere along the lines, it all got messed up.
Yeah.
Probably
from wars,
Yeah.
wars.
Well, conquering, and
Rome took over, and
yeah.
Greece took over, all kinds of stuff in Egypt. So a lot of history is lost,
Oh, the old kingdom was the most accurate, right up till the end. You get into the Ptolemies and Alexander the Great, and it splits again. It was just like,
Cleopatra wasn't Egyptian; she was Greek.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
No, that's what I mean. The Ptolemies they stemmed from Alexander the Great.
Yes, that was her.
A lot of people don't realize that.
Why is it driven slow?
They claim her as theirs, but she wasn't.
Yeah, I know.
That's how she got to spend time in Italy and Egypt.
She popped around. Yeah.
Smart woman.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about her. She killed her own sister. So
she wasn't even that attractive as they portray her in film, to be honest. I think
she was greedy and evil, so
most women were then.
Bless her.
From those places, right? Because they were ruling. It wasn't unusual to see a woman rule.
Yeah. Hatshepsut was interesting. My sister, she would dress as a male.
That's right.
She wore a beard and male clothes, and because they honored men, I guess, back then. And then I called her the female king.
Yeah, she was, and pulled it off like for a really long time. And apparently she had a love of her life as well that was kept pretty quiet.
Yeah,
it's a love story. I know.
Architecture of her building, and then our brother Tutmosis III just despised her, and he was a warmonger. I'm going to tell you, all he wanted to do was fight and war, and he was the one. But what's interesting, he was the one that Moses came back, because it was a different pharaoh when Moses came back from the desert after 40 years. It was Tutmosis III was pharaoh at the time, and he was the one that said, "Well, let my people go." And when he said, "Okay," and he let the people go. The point I'm getting to is then he went after him, and no one knows why. It's like, oh, he changed his mind. The Tutmosis III changed, the pharaoh changed his mind and went after him. And I said, no, Moses stole the Ark of the Covenant. Really changes the story, doesn't it? The Ark of the Covenant was in the temple. It was a very high frequency device that you could connect with the higher.
It was in the Temple of Solomon. They believed it was in the Temple of Solomon for a really long time in Israel, which wasn't that far from Egypt. So who had it first is what I'd like to know. That's a big whodunit.
They when they were leaving Egypt, they raided the temples for all the sacred jewelry and the sacred pendants and the sacred tools. They stole all these tools, and one of them was the Ark of the Covenant. So it's not just the Ark of the Covenant. They were their power tools and their jewelry, and so that's why he went after them. See, that's not even in the Bible. That's why there's two sides to every story. Let's put it that way.
Right. No, that's a whole other show too. That's fascinating stuff with. So yeah,
that is
from somewhere and ended up in the temple in Jerusalem down to Ethiopia, apparently.
I've
Right.
heard
So
that.
it's I love history. That's all I'm going to say. I could go on about it, but I won't because we're having a whole other show.
It might
So
be a 4-hour show. Yeah.
I
I know.
know.
In school, I hated history because the information they were giving was boring. And I thought I hated history. And then I got out of school and said, oh my God, I love history when it's the truth and some, really fascinating things. And
Yeah.
yeah.
It is fascinating how it just gets changed for the benefit of some and not so much for all of us. But while we're quickly at a standstill for a few minutes, I think it'd be a good time to do station and sponsor ID.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Go for it.
All right.
Sorry about earlier. Dog is partially blind, walked into my entire setup. Just saying.
Oh,
So
is
he's
that what
walking
happened?
around the entire house looking for me right now.
Aw, poor puppy. Bring him on.
I can't. He's in the other room. He's walking through the hallway and he left my door open. Thank you, Versace. You're listening to The Outer Realm with Michelle Desrochers and Amelia Pisano, coming to you live from the beautiful city of New Orleans on 105.3 and 107.7 FM radio. That's the UPRN network, wink, as well as the Roku channel. So you can watch us live and archive on there as well. If you're just joining us on Roku, make sure to share us with your friends. Let them know we're there. We are fairly new. It's this year. Our guest tonight is amazing, incredible, and returning. Devara Thunderbeat is with us tonight. And we are discussing her 22 DNA activation. So if you missed it, don't worry about it if you're just tuning in right now, because you can stream us on our archives on any platform you normally use. Just remember to click like and subscribe and notifications. You don't have to keep them on, but you don't want to miss anything, right? And again, don't forget to share that with your friends and family. Then you have something to talk about at the water cooler. This is a really interesting topic tonight. And if you're just tuning in, you're going to want to start at the beginning so that you don't get lost. We are really a girls club tonight, so we go off in different directions, but I promise you it's all incredible. The biggest shout out tonight is a thank you to the wonderful people at Folgers Coffee for your continued support and sponsoring our show. We appreciate you deeply, and we wouldn't be here without you. And we're coming up on 400 episodes.
Wow.
Soon. For our fabulous banner and promo media, a huge thank you to Steve McGinnis. He is a horror illustrator. He's an incredible artist, not only in the horror genre, but he also creates commission pieces as well. And you can find him on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram. Loving our intro. I'm going to change this one because I get tongue-tied, and I love him. We love our intro. Our outro, sometimes we don't get to play, but it's just as fascinating. Go into an archive, you can catch it, or go in and check out Dr. Snick, the Sonic Surgeon. Justin Snicker is an award-winning composer, vocalist, and musician. You can find his music on Amazon and Bandcamp. Stream him on any platform that you use. He's everywhere. You can find Dr. Snick on Facebook and Instagram, and also on your stories. If you're putting up stories, you can use his music clips. He's phenomenal. I promise you that you will find something that you like. He is so interesting. So if you are watching us right now, live on Facebook or YouTube, please hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends and family.
And for all of our audio listeners, we know there's a lot of you out there, especially with the FM band, but we do have a lot of international audio servers. So we know that with millions of you, you're out there. So find a way.
Yeah.
And we appreciate your support, and we thank you all for tuning in. And of course, we thank everybody in chat. You guys are awesome. So yes, Jeannie, 400 episodes, and you should be receiving your books any day now. I've been watching it, so please keep an eye out on your mail because Jeannie won Hamilton White's books a couple weeks back. So
she's so lucky.
I know. So
Yay,
there we go.
Jeannie. She deserves it. Good for you.
She does. So now back to this DNA activation. Do you know like there is a strong King Solomon connection to that?
To the DNA?
Yeah.
Not that I'm familiar with. No.
Yeah, I'm going to read this off because I can't remember all this stuff, people. But I found this when digging a little bit today,
Cool.
and it basically came into why is this connected, right? So I'm going to read this off. This King Solomon was searching for a way to access the original divine blueprint for healing and empowerment, and he was known to do funky things like that, right? So he gathered one shaman or master from every tradition to put towards this so-called system. And what resulted was a series of 8 modalities, one of which was a 22 strand DNA activation. And the activation empowerment has been handed down through the oral tradition within the mystery schools and has been used for thousands of years. There's your validation for that part of it anyway, by the initiates of these schools. And it is through this lineage that the 22 strand DNA activation has come to us today. So it's one of the real strong ones anyway.
I had no idea. That's great. That's fantastic.
I thought it was when, he'll go talking about the ark and stuff like, wait a minute, I got a segue. So yeah, I mean, it's fascinating when you think that it goes back and was used by, you've got King Solomon. It's pretty cool. So, the mystery schools, a lot of these people were upper level people because you had to be able to read, you had to be able to have an understanding of mathematics and the stars and everything else.
Yeah.
So I love it.
I love it too. A lot of people talk about the 24 and it's like, where did that come from? What are you thinking? 12 and 12, that the scientists talk about 12. I no, the 22 is the master number, by the way.
Right.
It's more than, another thing is with the 22 DNA sessions, they are a lifetime session. So,
Okay.
and 22 is more than you need in this lifetime and in our 3D bodies. So, and it just keeps, building and building throughout your whole life. It doesn't stop after 2 years. It's just like you're, at a nice plateau after 2 years. So once you do it, you don't do any other DNA again, because that could mess up the golden light codes. Because once they're embedded, and they're bring you into light. What can I tell you?
Right. No, I love that. So people, let's say you hit the 2-year mark, is there a plateau, or can you just, like, when you say you can keep going?
Yes.
How do you keep progressing?
It keeps, just like when you progress in life. So It just enhances everything, and it comes in. It just seems like the perfect moment. It's just magical. It's very magical.
Right.
But and the reason why it takes sometimes, everybody, nowadays wants everything instant now. Well, it would be too much you could not handle it if it happened all at once.
Right.
So it slowly embeds. They're embedded, but it slowly activates throughout your body. So
because spiritually, you can evolve a lot faster than you can with the physical human mind, right? I mean, we only use a small portion of our brain.
Yeah.
So you can imagine if you had to, like, I can totally get an understanding of what you're saying, because I don't think the physical brain could take it that fast. I think we can evolve, supernaturally, spiritually, but physically, no. I mean, beyond suppression, I just don't think our brain could take it. My brain couldn't take it. I can tell you that. My brain's on overload most of the freaking time.
Well, I could settle it down, actually. I could integrate it better, actually. But yeah, so it's, and then, like I said, it's different for everybody,
right?
Because everyone's different. So it's all unique individuals,
right?
Their own unique person. So, and I can do it over the internet. The sound healing I have to do in person because of the quality of the sound and richness, and my sound
it's different.
Yeah.
But
Lord Metatron, I call him Lord. He's an archangel, but for some reason he's just so powerful. He said, you can do it over the internet. It will go through. It will work. So I do it. Everybody all over the world. I had a lot of people from the Netherlands and Australia, UK, all the time.
Those are big audiences for us as well.
Nice. Those same people, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So that's what's beautiful about it. Is I can do everybody all over you don't have to come to Sedona.
Mhm.
So I live in
Right.
Sedona,
It's
Arizona.
a blessing if you can be in person, because there's nothing like a sound bath and you're in the room and it's not YouTube, but you're in the room. That's a
Right.
beautiful feeling. So those who can spend that time one-on-one with you are truly blessed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So-
People call and make an appointment.
Mhm.
So
And,
this isn't something that you recommend people trying to do on their own. Like, is this one of those "don't try this at home, kids" moment? Like, you really need to be guided into this.
Oh no, that's dangerous to do that. Yeah, you gotta.
Okay, that's where I was going. Like, don't your spirit guide isn't going to walk you through this. In other words, you just really need somebody to help
Yeah.
guide you through it.
Oh yeah, Metatron is there with me, activating. And I actually
Right.
bring there are 3 other angels in too for healing and activation.
Right.
The 12 DNA CD I have, you can work with that. That has the binary beats in it, and that gets you, activated. Starts activating you. It wakes up all your 12. So that's a good start, and that works. And then you can use that sound healing. But for the 22, it's a whole different method. It's a whole different. There's some sound involved with the chakra balancing, because I move the chakras out of the way to get to the DNA, and then I put your chakras back in alignment.
Mhm.
So it's a whole different technique
Right.
to do the 22.
So if you did the 12, just to show the difference. So let's say you start off with, let's say, the 12. What would you experience in comparison with the 22? Obviously, it's like graduating and going up a step, but what are the differences as far as what people would notice right away? Because maybe that's a good place to start.
It's not different. It just starts to activate you and your
Right.
awareness, to a certain level.
Right.
It's just that the 22 is even bigger, expanded
Right.
even more.
Right.
So it's doing the basic things. I mean, it helps you rejuvenate. The 12 DNA helps you rejuvenate and activates your body and your dormant DNA. But like I said, it only goes up to 12. So the more it's like, the more information is in the chakras and the higher realms. That's the best way I can describe it. So
Right. Right. Well, I like that.
That's exciting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that. So I mean, this is stuff of some of the research I've looked at. And one of the big questions that apparently comes up is there a relationship between DNA activation and ascension? Because you do ascension stuff too. So I figured it'd be a perfect question for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the ascension, it definitely raises your frequency, and it's similar. It's very similar.
Mhm.
But your whole vibration and your awareness is expanded. So it's very similar, on the same kind of thing. The ascension, you notice your, let's say your hearing and your eyesight gets sharper. I've
Mhm.
noticed that difference, like right
Right.
away with the
Right.
ascension CD. Yeah.
Now, do you find that? Because I know science, I think, has dabbled in this because this is a thing and there's an interest, and they're either curious about it or they want to debunk it. Do you find that in your studies of it or working with it, do you come up against that scientific? Do people throw the science card at you with this? Do you find that they're moving in strides towards trying to figure this out, or trying to say, no, this isn't a thing?
No, I don't get
That
that.
haven't bugged you yet? So,
No, I mean, those kind of people, they don't even probably bother. They'll go look at the brochure and go, "Oh, this is crap." So they don't even call me.
right.
Wow.
Actually,
So
they're not-
there.
those people are definitely not ready. Okay.
God.
Science is very limited. It's a very very physical thing. It's 3D. This goes beyond the 3D, definitely, which we're all going into. Mother Earth has actually shifted into 4D, and she's waiting for us to catch up with her. So,
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be a frustrated parent because I think there's a lot of people who I think you have to have a healthy belief in it to start with, and
Well,
I
they
just
don't know what it is. They don't understand it. They don't know the difference of, being able to see the awareness of it.
Mhm.
Actually, what thrives in the 4D is the fairy realm. That
Okay.
you'd like that because of Scotland and
Oh,
Ireland.
I love it. I
Yeah,
know.
so you can
Yeah.
actually see different another thing is the animals. You can actually start hearing. I know it sounds funny for some people, and you can animals speaking. You can hear what they're saying.
Hmm.
Which I have actually, I can do that every once in a while. I can hear what they're saying. The animals can speak.
Right.
Yeah, and that's 4D. That's 4D.
Right.
More communication, and then the Native Americans talk about that centuries ago. About we used to be able to hear the animals speak. We could talk to them,
Right.
and when the white man hears that, they go, okay, they don't think it's English, but you can actually hear them in English. And here's how I practiced it or did it was it was like in the 90s. I had a dog Sheba, and I said, she's always barking outside. I said I would love to know what she is saying, and I
Right.
put the prayer out. And after
Right.
about 3 or 4 days, one day I woke up and I heard her barking outside, but I heard her in English, and she was saying, "I told you to stay out of the yard. Now go." I told you to stay
Wow.
out of the yard. Now go. Now that's something a dog would say, right? And I went, oh my God, I can hear her speaking in English. And then I heard this buzzing noise, and it went zip, and it disappeared. I couldn't hear her anymore in English.
Right.
3 days later, my bedroom was by my carport. This was in Florida, and I woke up and I'm hearing all these people in my carport outside my house, and I'm like, who the hell's in my carport? And all these people were talking, and I tuned into one. I couldn't understand. There were so many people talking. I couldn't understand. I tuned into one, and one they were saying, I already went over there. Don't go over there. There's nothing over there. And I went, oh my God, those are the birds talking. And I went outside, and they were going, how they talk, in the morning. They call
Right.
it chitter chatter. That's what they were doing, and I could hear them in English. And they were looking for food, and they go, well, I already went over there. Don't go over there. That's the kind of things they were talking about.
Oh my God.
My
that's
mother was a
funny.
bird whisperer.
Really?
She loved animals, period, but birds, oh my God. I told Michelle she used to take
Me too.
just wild birds from the yard that were injured and would bring them into the house, nurse them back to health, and bring them back out. We used to call her
Aw.
St. Francis.
That.
Yeah.
I'm an animal
Some
lover.
She used
people
to
are
collect
naturally
turtles when
gifted.
we were on the lake, like all kinds of stuff, and try to feed them salami. For
Beautiful,
proper
Mom.
Italian.
You got a beautiful mom.
I did. Thank you. She passed when I was really young.
Oh,
But yeah.
I think some people are naturally gifted with animals. There are amazing animal communicators, but it's funny when you say speak English. I mean, technically, if you're telepathically, maybe there's just no language barrier.
there
Yeah.
isn't a language barrier there. Yeah, because mental telepathy, you can
Yeah.
hear. Like when I talk to my ET family, we talk mental telepathy. I hear them in English.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes. Yes.
I understand them.
Yeah. I think it's great. I think it's great. So what do you have coming up? I know like you're a busy gal, and I know now you're especially busy. You're offering these. I want to put your site back up. Hold on, I'm gonna put this back up. It takes me a minute.
Which one?
Bring this
Oh.
back up over this way. Everything's got to be up where I can see it. Otherwise, the system
Just to
will
let
not
you
work.
know, my download site is SiriusStargate.com. You can listen to all my music for free and download it there. Sirius Stargate.
Can they get this from your website as well? Can you?
Yes,
They
you can click
access?
on the homepage. You can click on to Sirius download. It
Okay,
says,
hold on.
yeah.
I'm going. There we go.
Yeah, if you scroll down.
Beautiful.
Scroll down. Here we go. Okay, so we've got
Look
all
at
of this.
you. So pretty.
Oh,
Okay, keep going.
Keep going, keep going. There's my chakra healing session.
Okay, there we go.
This is a very vibrant website. I love it.
And there's Sedona Faces. We did this on
Yep.
the last show, people. Go back and listen to the archive. if
Well,
you're not
watch
there.
it. Watch it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, go on the Outer Realm and watch it so you can see the
Guide
photos.
tour. Yep. Keep going, keep going.
I'm going.
Retreats. I'm working on retreats right now, actually. So if anybody would like the retreat, they're all my sessions are involved in touring Sedona and the beautiful red rocks of Sedona. It's just breathtaking here. But
Oh, I
Excellent.
know.
Just
That
tell
was
me
an
when you want me to
interesting,
stop,
interesting
go.
show.
there's my chakra book. There's my lookup book. Okay, keep going.
Keep going.
And
going.
then I have my CDs. My music's on the bottom.
Okay. There we go. All right.
There's my music.
Wow.
Yep, keep
Wow.
Yeah. I'm perusing.
Oh,
What a great stuff.
She's shopping.
going. Okay, right here.
Shopping.
All they do is stop.
Right there.
You click here. It's where it says click here, Sirius Target, and go right to my downloads.
Oh, here we
Yeah,
go.
and then
Look
you
at that.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is
There's all my music.
I'm going to copy this.
Nice.
Okay. And I'm going to
Working hard.
Hold on.
It's a beautiful site, Devara.
Put this back. Now let me just
Thank you.
I'm going it won't let me I can't even write on here unless everything is taken off. So
No.
I'm gonna
You said you're part Italian. We have to change your name. It's
There we
Devara now.
it's on all the platforms and now they can just go and click on it and off you go. There.
You said you've got Italian blood. I said we have to change your name to Devara now.
Well, it is Deborah.
I already
okay,
butchered her name. I was
we
going
butchered
to
your name.
Bara.
I am so
It sounded
sorry.
just
It's Deborah.
so frou.
Yeah, Italian it would be Devara. Yeah,
Devara, he got an
Devara,
R.
which means
roll the R.
the real.
Devara.
It actually
what?
means the real. Veda means real,
Okay.
and de means of or the.
I didn't know that. Interesting. Well, but this is my Egyptian spelling, and it means the light of the sun. Ra. Deborah Ra. Ra is sun.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
I
funny
love
because
it.
in Italian,
I
Veda
love it.
means real.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, you
Because
say
the Hebrew spelling, it means queen bee. And I said, I don't want to be a queen. Sorry.
Well, you're a busy bee, at least, you know.
Well, yeah.
I love
No,
it.
I like to be a high priestess,
Right.
which we tell the queen information. So
There we go. So you have it.
Flipping, your light went, my light went.
I know. The only one that's
Really?
lit up is
are you having
Yeah.
a blackout in New Orleans?
no.
No.
It's no.
The
The light
candles?
just does that after a while. It's either the light or the alien, and tonight it's the alien. So he's lit up. I know. It just happens. It's
He's
ridiculous.
a dark looking one. The aliens I met are really pretty.
Yeah.
Not this guy.
No.
So no.
They are and they're beautiful and benevolent, and they're I think they're very good looking.
Yes. Well, and again, people, we talked about that on the first show.
Yeah.
About
On the Claire
Deborah's-
show.
Yes.
So
Big
and I also do readings, and actually the 22 DNA activations. What another thing comes through when I do them for people is their people's spirit guides, and their spirit guides give me messages to give them. So
Right.
whatever's important, and a lot of times I'll even get their spirit guides' names and their positions, because what happens is I'm finding out after doing this for many years that your spirit guides have a certain position. Like they like to hang out, let's say, on the right sides, and it's another one likes to hang on the left, and they don't interrupt each other. They're kind of like have their position.
Right.
That was very interesting. I've never heard that before, but that's what I found from doing the sessions. And I give, like I said, I give their messages to the people, and they record their session, because I do it through the internet. They can record their session, so they have all that information.
Right. Well, people, you guys head on over to, the website's right here, www.thunderbeat.com, for the audio listeners who are not here with us. Okay, Wayne.
My spirit guides face palm most days when dealing with me. Mind drink.
I know.
My spirit guide's face palm. What does that mean?
Face palms like, ah.
Oh,
Yeah. I swear mine are drinking tequila.
that's funny.
They're just trying to get through my life.
Mine have no sense of humor, apparently.
No.
So I'm out of luck. So it's like, I don't know. But okay, so people can find you on your website. Do you have any talks coming up? Do you have any special appearances that people can find you?
Well, like I said, I'm scheduling right now. I'm scheduling retreats.
Okay.
So then it's so much fun. They're 3 and 4 days. They're not long. And
Right.
like I said, if you haven't been to Sedona, it's breathtaking here. It's one of the most spiritual places on the planet, by the way.
Yeah.
And so we go through you get everything's included. You got the DNA, 22 DNA, you got the ascension activation, chakra balancing, sound
Nice.
healing.
Awesome.
We got a drive tour because I found ancient Egypt here. So I show you all the faces in the rocks, drive you all over Sedona. We go hiking. We do night vision watches with the night goggles.
Wow.
Those are fun with the
Wow.
military goggles. And we see, I'm going to tell you, you're going to see about 40 to 50 UFOs in 1 hour. I guarantee it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So that's
You
part
need
of
to
it.
film that for Michelle.
Yeah, I know. I just need to get my arse down there is what I need to do. Go hang out with Devara.
Yes, so those retreats are a lot of fun. You go on my website and check out all the information. Just click on retreats at my website, and that gives you all the downloads.
Okay.
So I'm focusing on that. And then, like I said, I have Egypt. I'm going to be doing an Egypt trip in 2025. It will be a year from now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be putting that out there soon. And so I'm working on that. And I'm working, I'm always working on something. I'm working on that book, but that's going to be a while.
Right.
With the Egyptian version of the Exodus.
Very nice.
So that's my
Very
next
nice.
project. And
Exodus or exorcist?
Exodus.
Exodus.
Put those
Oh,
two
my
words together. The
Exorcist.
Exodus.
Exodus. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
the exit.
Well, it sounds like you're a busy gal and you've got a lot coming up. And I'm glad that you took time for us again this evening. And I hope you'll keep in touch and let us know when you have that book ready or you have something coming up that you want to share with everybody. And we can do this again.
Absolutely. Yes.
I love it. I love it. You're just like one of the girls now. So
Yeah.
I love you girls. You girls are I'm so proud of both of you. I love you, dear.
Oh my God.
thank you.
Love you.
We love you too.
Proud of you. Never know. Might just get on that plane. You just never know.
I know. We're going to be
Might need
down there
some-
saying,
I need-
Devara, where do you
I
think we
need
are
some-
right now? Where do you
We
think we
need
are?
some deactivation before we go, though.
Yeah. You're going to have to fix us after that.
I had to tell you, if I had to fly to Egypt, I would have to fly first class. I would have to.
So what?
Have to. Because
Go-
I don't know
go
if
for
I
it.
could handle being in a small space for that long.
No, the planes are very big when you fly over there.
International.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, they're huge.
They are.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and you just sleep, or you can watch TV. They have TVs right there on the.
They do.
chair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
so does WestJet, but I mean, I want to make
This
sure
is
that
hop, skip,
I
and a
can
jump
close
now.
everything off. Like,
Just
I'm
fly
one
at
of
night,
those-
darling, and you
if
just
I'm gonna
sleep
fly
in a
that
rock,
far
that's
away,
all.
like I'm gonna hit Emirates. Like,
Right. Well, we'll have
so
to
I'll
figure
need
it
those
out.
2 years I'll need that
The
year to save
anticipation is
up.
just going to keep you up. But but thank you again, and I hope you have some fantastic holidays, because I keep forgetting they're just literally around the corner.
Next week.
No.
And I hope you've got something nice and fun planned.
Yes, relaxation, because I'm always doing sessions or drive tours, which I love.
Right.
Time, just a little break,
It's a
Regressions
good
are
time to
fun.
take time off because everybody's busy,
I like
right?
regressions.
So
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Devara. I will be in touch. Devara. I did it again. I've been good for 2 shows, and I freaking have to plap it off at the last minute.
Everyone does it. Well, so many blessings to you girls and everybody out there. Thank you so much for everything and having me back. And I
Thank you
just,
for being
we're my star sisters now. Absolutely.
yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Take
Pleasure.
care. All the best for the new year. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Many blessings.
Bye.
Good
Bye-bye.
night. Well, everybody, we have come to the end of another fantastic show. Always
Both
a
of us
pleasure
in the
having
dark.
her on. I can't believe I always get drawn to just, plopping off her name in the wrong way. It's
No,
like
I
the last
know.
minute, just there it goes. So anyway, big thank you to Devara for coming on, and big thank you to Folgers Coffee for sponsoring the show, to Dr. Snick, Steve McGinnis. Thank you. We appreciate you all so much. I'll see you next week. I'm doing that again too. It's been a long day, peeps.
It's been a long year.
So tomorrow night, for the very first time, Nicole Magic was becoming on the show. And basically, here's the gist of it. She's had encounters with had some extraordinary occurrences in her life, which sparked a profound desire within her to assist individuals in reshaping their connections with themselves and ultimately enabling to attain a level of whatever success that they wish to aspire. And with December, we've got some, good paranormal stuff, but we also wanted to make this more about a month of enlightenment and something positive and, just something that made you feel really good, because as much as it's a wonderful time of the year, it isn't for everyone. So this is hopefully a little something that we could offer you guys that is just a feel good show.
Mhm.
So we've got a few of those, and got a couple of little bit of spookiness in there too somewhere. And of course, you can't forget our Q&A at the end of the month. We're gonna go out
Yes.
with a bang, man. So
That's
that's I know.
last show of the year.
I know.
Mhm.
Anyway, guys, we'll see you all tomorrow night, and we'll have some fun. So thank you for tuning in. Thanks to everybody in